Been a long time, but they're finally back. Getting back on the horse and making tutorials. Makes me very happy to be able to say this. Cue the intro music! Welcome back to a mod guide. Long time due. I'm starting off with something simple, and I'm going to be building out with what I know into what I don't know. This is XNet, and that's what we're going to be dealing with today is XNet Basics, or XNet 101. Basically. I'm going to be dealing with really simple stuff, just getting a few items moving and getting some power going. Now, normally, XNet requires power per transaction, and power for it to, you have to have it stocked with power so that it will work per transaction. Now, what we're going to be doing is working with that assumption, even though I'm using a mod pack, Coop Life, Fun and Curse, that does not actually have power turned on. XNet is a wonderful mod. It's very configurable. It is made by a wonderful person by the name of McJty. That is also the author of, McJty has made RF Tools Dimensions, RF Tools Control, I think it's called, a mod called In Control. They're working on, they're a co-author on Not Enough Wands, the One Probe, they're an author of. They do, Lost Cities is a new one they're working on. Very prolific and very, very talented, and has a mind for making amazing things. But sometimes the amazing things don't have the most straightforward user interfaces. And this is one of the things that I really love and adore about the mod. It looks like it's rough around the edges, but it's really not. It is extremely refined. All of McJty's mods, they're extremely refined. It's just knowing how to use them is the real trick. And that's why we're here today. So XNet is a wonderful mod that lets you set up automation for simple movement of fluids, of power, of things of that nature. Now, I've got my simple little yard right here with a tree farm space. And let's have the assumption going that I have my stock of saplings, and I have been chopping down trees and having a stockpile. I need to tell McJty about the framed drawer icon, but whatever. Basically, we would have either an automated tree farm or just doing lots of manual tree farming and moving. Did I really get the wrong tree? I got the wrong tree, whatever. I started with birch, but decided birch would be too white against the white walls. So I swapped to oak, and I forgot to change the wood in here, but it doesn't really matter. Whoops, goof. But we would have a source of wood coming in to storage. So we're going to be working with the assumption of there's either someone outside that is chopping the trees down and keeping us stocked up every once in a while, or we have some kind of automation that's coming into this point. Once you get the wood, and then we have some other things that we've made. I've just got a basic furnace here. I've got a energy cell. I could, we don't even need a really high-end one, I don't think. We can just get a basic one. Let's actually go back down to basic energy cell. Where is it? Where's the energy cell? There it is. Found it. Okay, so basic energy cell. We're actually gonna be doing, I always forget. I think the plus is power out and the negative is power in, I think. So what we're gonna do actually is leave it default. Redstone ignored. Perfect. So this thing is set up, power in, power out. We have a redstone furnace, no power in it currently, and we are going to be using this for the purposes of turning the wood into coal. Now, or charcoal, I'm sorry. And it will go in here. The logs will go in here, get spit out here in charcoal form. What we got is some stuff. Now, I'm going to, first things first, get this furnace generator. I'm just going to put it right down next to that. And we can put that back temporarily. This thing uses or generates power. It does have Go away, rain. Thank you. I'm going to freeze the time too, because I can do that. This thing will take our coal, turn it into power, and because we placed it right next to the redstone furnace, it will power it directly. So, of course, our first few steps are going to be difficult. We're going to have to get some power somehow, but we can get a... Let me get out of... Yeah, there we go. So we get a couple stacks of this stuff. I think we can do straight up burning of wood to get that going. And then this is going to start getting our wood and turning it into birch. Now, here's the thing. We don't want to have to keep restocking all of this. And eventually, we'd like to, now that we've got some coal, charcoal showing up over here, 1 charcoal as a matter of fact, we want to start getting it to where this will automatically restock this. Plus, we're going to have power overflow. This thing is going to fill up really quick once this fills up. See? This is going to be filling up and staying topped off pretty easily because it doesn't use a lot of power to do what it's doing. This is slowly going to rise, which means there's going to be a point where these logs, 3000 RF, get one of these. These generate 16,000 RF, much more power effective. So what we want to do is automate this entire process. This is where XNet comes into play. We've got some controllers. These things are really, really easy to do. Let me do XNet. That is all of XNet. It's a very small mod. It's very, very simple. And what we can do, you get a couple of, this is going to require, first of all, you're going to have access, you're going to need to have access to redstone. You're going to need to have a significant amount of iron. You're going to need to have, but you're going to need to have mined up some redstone, some gold. And of course, because it's redstone repeaters, I think all of these, yeah, this one right here requires some nether quartz. You're going to have to make a trip to the nether before you can get going doing this. But lots of mod packs where you can get access to nether materials without even going to the nether. Even if you do, you can just duck in, get some quick nether quartz and duck back out. It's really simple stuff. A lot of times you don't even have to go very far from the portal. So a couple of redstone repeaters, redstone comparator, block of iron, some redstone, gold, iron ingots, and you get yourself a controller. This thing, we're going to get one of these. And I'm actually just going to, let me see, what do I want? I'm going to park it for now right here. Now this thing is getting power from our furnace, which is the easy way to do it. I'll show you another way that we could accomplish this though, if we want to put this farther away. But for now, we're going to park it right next to our furnace that is churning out power. And this is getting topped off on its internal battery. Now, we have nothing else connected to it. This is an isolated block that has no purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some cables. I'm just going to go with blue. Let's get some blue connectors. We don't need anything terribly fancy right now. And I'm going to do connector right there. Now, what I like to do is with an empty hand, right click on this and label these controller. You just click outside of it and hit escape. That's it. This is the furnace generator. I'm going to do just generator 1. We might have another one in the future. Don't know. This is a redstone furnace. I'm just going to do furnace for now. And then we actually have down here. This is the tricky situation. What we're going to need to do is do 2 different connections because these batteries do not have an in-out combo side like these energy cells don't have an in-out combo side in thermal expansion like the energy cells in Ender IO do. The Ender IO you can set aside to either in, out, or both. You cannot do that with thermal expansion. One of the things I think is kind of limiting of the mod, but whatever we can do that. So I'm going to put 2 connections on this right there and right there. This is going to be, I think, power. I usually do PWR out, PWR for power abbreviation, and then PWR in, escape. Now we have all these different things. I'm going to get some regular cabling, and we're going to do connect that, and then suddenly, if we come over here and you look at this, we have stuff. It's even saying what side of the block these are connecting on. It's connected on the north side and on the up side. If you hold down right here, these 2 will group together because they're on the same block. And it says with energy cell, now that block tile shouldn't be tiled that thermal expansion dot, but still, it's got the block name right there, like this says, furnace. but it's also got the connector name, like what purpose you're using that connector for. So this should be power out. This should be power in. We've got the generator number 1. So what I'm going to do first is going to click on this channel right here. I think, oh, we missed one more. Hang on a sec. 2 more. We're going to do one here and one here. This is going to be charcoal. This is going to be wood. The wrong kind of wood. Shh. Do that. Now we have all the stuff we need. So I can put that back and that back for the time being. I'm actually also going to put that in there. So now we need to cross connect all of this. We have several tasks we want to do. First of all, we want to get the wood and put it into the actual furnace. One thing I need to make sure is to check on the back of the furnace. I need to have in selected. And then it's going to be coming in through there, and it will automatically get pushed up and out. So once the wood gets turned into charcoal, it'll go up here, and then we can pull it out here and route it over to here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we have the generator. We're going to click edit channel, and we want to make an energy channel, XNet energy. There's logic, which is usually redstone control. There's items, fluid, and then back to energy. I'm going to make an energy channel. These will be different colors depending. We're just going to say PWR. I'm going to do power 1 just for the sake of whatever. And usually what I do is I turn off processing on the channel initially. This is basically your on-off switch for this entire row right here, or column, this entire column. So usually I turn it off when I'm setting it up. Then I work on what I need to do. So first things first, we're going to be getting the power from the generator. I'm going to click on that square right there. Basically, you match up the column to the row, and you click on that square. You do create, and this is automatically, because we're working on an energy channel, it's automatically an energy connection. And we are going to be extracting power. And then we're going to be coming over here to the controller, and we're going to be creating and then insert. Now, usually what I do is I put a maximum on the insert. I think that is the absolute max on that. Yeah. So that we do not, it's not that I think it's going to have power disappear, but I just like to make sure that it's not trying to push too much power into a box. It makes it easier. Not all mods are created equal when it comes to how they handle RF. That's me. So we could now, in theory, click this. It's going to pull any power it can out of the generator and put it in here. In theory, is there any power in there? There is no power in there. This thing ran out of power. Let's get one of these. Put it in there. Maybe a few. Just get it going. Okay, so now, if we enable this channel, it should be that any stray power that it can get, it would get from the generator and move it to the controller. Now, we're also getting power because these 2 blocks are adjacent, so that's kind of a useless thing. What we can also do, however, is we can come over here to the furnace. I'm going to look at the furnace, and it's got a max power of 20,000 RF. I'm going to do create. It's going to be insert. I'm going to do 20, 1, 2, 3, right there. And that would be getting power as well. Now, if we wanted to, this is going to be power out, I think. Yeah, power in. We can start doing power right there. We can actually limit that. And there we go. That is power going into the battery. So the next step is we need to actually get the charcoal automated into here, as well as we have some wood still in there. So let's automate. We come over here. We're going to do a completely new channel. We're going to click on this. Instead of energy or logic, we're going to do item. And this is going to be charcoal. And what this loop is going to do is, let me get one of these and one of these. On this loop, first things first, I'm going to turn this off. Now, you do have priorities you can do. There's round robin or priority based upon. I'm going to do round robin on this just to make it a little bit easier, I think. I think it will work better for even distribution. So we have our wood up here. we are going to click on this, create. We're going to be extracting. I'm actually going to do it single. The amount to keep in target we see there's extract single, extract stack. There is amount to keep in the destination inventory, but for right now, I'm going to do enable, no, not blacklist mode. I want to do or dictionary matching. I want to do, actually, I'm just going to do or dictionary matching for now. And then this wood is going to be going to the furnace. This is going to be creating, I'm going to leave it on insert. I'm actually going to put this right here. We're going to do or matching. And it should be that if I turn this channel on, suddenly this is going to get stocked with wood, 1 log at a time. It's not cooking it very fast. I don't need to worry about it. This will max out at 64 very, very quickly. And we can also come over here. We've got our charcoal. I'm going to do temporarily disable this channel for the moment. I'm going to create. We're going to swap this to extract. Put charcoal right there. I'm going to do single. And on this same loop, we can come back to the generator and do insert, create, charcoal. I'm going to do or dictionary matching here. I'm going to do or dictionary matching. So all of this is set up where it should be. Wood is getting pulled out of storage and over to here, right? You see this is going up. And then as we make more charcoal, you see charcoal is getting pulled out of here and put into here. So this is going to stay stocked. This is going to stay stocked. And this is actually getting topped up. What I can now do is make another power loop where if I wanted to, we could come down to this battery. This is power out. And we can do extract, basically. And we have another extract power point for anything else on this grid, which means now, if I wanted to, I could put something right here. I could put a machine right here if I wanted to, where that log is. And I don't have to worry about running power cables to it, because as long as I connect it to this grid with these blue connectors, and well, actually any of the connectors and any of the actual cabling, as long as it's on the XNet loop, I can give it power through that same power line. All I'd have to do, it would have a new entry down here. And on this first channel, I would make a new insert power command for it. And then I could do whatever I wanted to. So that's the basics. Punching logs. XNet, this is what the absolute minimum usage for it comes down to. The really simple starter stuff. It's very easy to use. You just have to kind of know the interface and understand the interface. It's good for moving items around, and it's got other perks and benefits. This stuff called network cabling, whether it's blue, red, whatever color it is, there are 4 different colors. You have blue, red, yellow, and green. And the whole purpose for the different colors is getting a separate line so they don't crosstalk, which means you can actually have some pretty complex wiring diagrams done with these to make sure you can keep things on separate loops. If I wanted to, I could have all of my power on red and all of my item movement on green, or I could put a tree farm on red, and I could put the ore processing on green, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of different options for that. So it's very, very flexible. The other benefit is that this cabling does not have to be chunk loaded. So this network cabling can go through an unloaded chunk from one loaded chunk to another, but you could have unloaded chunks in between that, which means that you do not have to chunk load the entire network. You only have to chunk load the controller and the actual things you want operating. That's it, which is very, very good. So it's a wonderful thing. What I'm probably would do now, let me think. I was going to change things up a little bit here. Let me get a wrench real quick. I'm going to go to creative. I'm going to get a wrench. Where's a wrench? I would temporarily do, let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. I'm going to get one of these connectors, and then I'm going to basically snip this network segment right down here. What I would probably do is get the energy cell and put it right there. There we go. And then we toggle that back there. So now what we could do is we could have that as power out. Simplify this a little bit. Out. Then come over here. And we've got one connection, power out. This is going to be extract. We're going to do a rate. I think it's going to do a maximum rate of 1,000 on that because we haven't upgraded it yet. So now we have one central point for extracting power. Power is going from this into this directly. A little bit less of a loop possible. Usually what I like doing on my controllers to keep it simple, I have one where I'm grabbing the power from where it's being generated, and another one where I'm sending it, a separate channel where I send that power. So the power is getting grabbed from wherever it's being generated and put into a battery. And then I tap the battery in a second channel and send it out to the machines. I've found that that tends to work a lot better, but that's me. Anyway, that's the absolute basic starter class for XNet. It's really not hard. I'm going to start putting out some more mod guides, get into it, to really delve into specialty projects, how to set up stuff like igneous extruders and automation for that kind of thing, how to get it to help you organize your base quite a bit. It can be really, really useful, especially since you can actually hide all of these wonderful cabling through something that's called facades. I'm going to put that back. If we get this stuff, I can actually shift right click and it says facade is now mimicking block of quartz. So I can. Now I can't right click on this because it's going to want me to rename that. Shift, right click, shift, shift, shift. All of these suddenly could get put behind a nice wall. Oop, I'm just going to shift, shift, shift. Suddenly you don't know what's what. Can't tell. I could build a whole wall here and you cannot tell what is connected to where, even from behind. It's really glorious. It's amazing. You can see blue connector, blue connector, blue connector, block of quartz. You can see where the connectors stop and start, but it's still the fact that it makes it a lot better, which means you have, just like some other mods out there, you have the capability to hide one cable that can run power, items, water, and redstone logic, all within one block. And it's a great alternative to some of the other stuff out there, especially considering how server performance friendly it can be. So I'm going to call it here. I really do appreciate you sitting through this far into a video if you have already. There will be more mod guides like this in the future. I'm also going to start expanding out into some of the other stuff that exists. Now, XNet, this version of XNet, if you read the description or the title, is for 1.10, 1.10.2, 1.11.2, and I think it's even being worked on for 1.12. So it's all the more recent versions of Minecraft. I'm going to be dwelling a lot in that area for mod guides. I might delve into some older mods. Like there's a mod I love from Minecraft 1.7.10 called the TARDIS mod, but it's extremely awesome, especially for servers. It's extremely amazing to mess with as a player, but it's also extremely confusing. So I might put a video out on that. Don't know. We'll see. The big point is expect more. I'm back to working on these. I'm really getting into it. I will catch you folks on the next episode of Mod Guide. See you later.